So if you are here right now, chances are you are planning to take the AP US History or the Apush exam sometime in the near future. The Apush exam is definitely known to be one of the harder AP exams to take, and I understand why. There's so much content to know, but I actually ended up getting a 5 on the exam, which I did not expect at all. But after looking through my whole process throughout the school year, I realized that I did a lot of things that definitely contributed to helping me achieve a 5. And yeah, I kind of just want to share those tips with you guys. I can guarantee that if you follow all of these tips that I'm about to tell you, you will most likely definitely get a 5, because it's not as intimidating as it looks. I was hecka scared. I was contemplating taking it, but I'm glad I did. And yeah, so if you guys want to learn more, please continue watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and let's get started. Okay, so one thing you need to know about the content for AP US History is that this goes for AP World as well, but all the information is organized or categorized into periods, into time periods. So for Apush, there's 9 periods starting all the way from the 1600s, 1700s, all the way to now, 2019. Imagine how much content that is. If it wasn't organized in these 9 periods, it would get all jumbled up together. So it's very important that you know your periods, you know what happened when, what category does this fit into. And it's also very important because for your essays are going to be specific to certain periods. So one long essay question might ask you something where you'll have to recall information from periods 1, 2, 3, or it'll be 4 through 6 or 8 through 9 or something along the lines of that. So you definitely need to know your periods, especially for the essays, because when you write, you need to know what kind of information they're asking for. I guarantee you this will make life a lot easier than if you don't pay attention to it. This next tip isn't really a tip, it's just kind of common sense. But if you want to do good on this exam, then I highly would recommend that you read the textbook. Read it. I literally read towards the end of the year I got a little bit lazy, but for the majority of the year I literally read every single word and every single chapter in that textbook, and it seemed a little bit excessive, but it definitely helped me a lot. It helped me to retain information I didn't even know I had. If you're reading the textbook, definitely take notes at the same time. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I write stuff down, it helps me to better retain information. So I would definitely take notes as you read the textbook, because you're reading it once and then you're writing it down again. That definitely does do something to your memory, or at least it did for me. And trust me, watching videos alone is not going to help. It's not gonna get you a 5, because this information is so it's so much, it's so colloquial, that's proper. There's just so much information, and all these crash course videos, they're so vague and they talk so fast, and it's just not the same as to opposed to when you're reading it, when everything is laid out and there's a lot more detail involved, details that will definitely come in clutch. So read the book. So towards the end of the year, or when the AP exam is coming up, you don't want to wait too long before you start reviewing all the information, because there's so much information. It's ridiculous. So I would recommend to start your review about 3 weeks in advance. I started mine about a month in advance, but you definitely don't need to do that. If you know you're going to be dedicated, then definitely you can start 2 weeks ahead. But honestly, for me, I had to kind of lay out the information I wanted to review on what day, because there's just so much information. So maybe you can do a period a day every week or something like that. Some periods are more important than others, just letting you guys know. So you can definitely spend your focus on certain periods more than others. Period 1 is not like 5% of the test, I believe. I don't know, you can fact check me on College Board. Yeah, start reviewing ahead, because you don't want to be like the night before and you're only on period 3 and like you're trying to cram all this information in your brain at the last minute when you know damn well that you should have started earlier. So yeah. Okay, so in terms of reviewing, I would highly recommend getting a review book. I had one. I had the Princeton review book, and I read that one, and I also had the Barron's book. They gave that to us in school, but personally I love the Princeton review book. But any review book should help you, benefit you, as long as you're reading it. The Princeton review book is very good. I feel like it's less wordy than the Barron's book, but the Barron's book still has a lot of valuable information. But yeah, if you're into reading, then the Barron's book should be good for you. But for me, the Princeton review book, it was a bit more fun for me to read, because like the author put his little like quirky inputs here and there. It was just really interesting to me. But any review book should definitely help. It kind of like condenses the information that you actually need, and it makes it like easier to understand for sure. Like you'll read something and you're like, wow, this makes so much more sense now. Like I had a lot of those moments, like everything just started clicking together. So I would definitely recommend getting one. It doesn't have to be the latest edition, 2019 or whatever year. Just get one and read it. When you're reviewing, I would recommend watching a video course. You can do this throughout the year too, but whatever it is, everybody knows John Green, his crash course videos. That personally didn't work for me. Personally, I used a website called get5.com. It's basically a series of lessons of the entire US history. It's like a classroom in the form of a video. It's like an online classroom, and I think it's really cool. Not a lot of people know about it, but what I'm telling you here right now is that the information there is so good. I told people to look it up, and like they didn't listen to me, so hopefully you guys do. There's so many videos, so I would definitely recommend start watching them earlier. All of them are like anywhere from like 9 to 15 minutes long, somewhere along that. But yeah, it's a really good website. I'll put it in the description, and you should definitely check it out when you're reviewing for the exam, because it will help you a lot. Another thing that you should definitely do before the exam is to try and do at least one mock exam. Our school had one for us, so I didn't have to do it on my own, but if you have to, I would definitely recommend like going to the library, like, looking up practice questions, or like if your school has resources, take advantage of those to like do practice tests or practice questions at least, and definitely try to do at least a couple essays to get the feel of it, because when I first wrote my essay, I had no idea what I was writing, and my teacher did not help me. I don't know how I pulled through with the essays, because I still felt like they were horrible, but practice makes perfect at the end of the day. So yeah. For the multiple choice, all the questions are based off of passages, like historical texts, like maybe MLK's I Have a Dream speech, maybe a speech by Kennedy, maybe an old literature piece that reflects a period in history. So it's not just question after question. No, you have to have good reading comprehension skills, and you have to know how to time yourself properly. It's another thing, time management. You're gonna have to write. Section 1 consists of multiple choice and short answers. There's like 3, I think, 2 or 3. Section 2 consists of a DBQ, document-based question, and an LEQ, a long essay question. So you're gonna have to split your time wisely. At least for section 2, between the DBQ and the LEQ, they'll stop your time after section 1. So section 2 is really important. You don't want to spend too much time on one essay or too much time on the other essay. You really need to be aware of the time, which is why I would recommend that you bring a watch with you if you can, because when I took the test, I was looking at the clock and the clock was inaccurate and I got played. But yeah, definitely know how much time you have left and be smart when it comes to time management, because that you will run out of time on something probably if you don't. I ran out of time on the multiple choice, so yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't be me. don't be me. Here's an important tip. Okay, so for me, this course was really self-taught. My teacher didn't really help me much, so for my next tip, I would just have to say, like, don't rely on your teacher. Your teacher alone is not gonna get you a 5, okay? You yourself are gonna have to put in that work. Yeah, you gotta put in the work on your own, unless you have like a really good teacher. But personally, I did not have the best teacher. Literally every class he would just start ranting about a random topic, like the fact that somebody was married to their cousin, or he'd start talking about guns and stuff, and like, that class was really a waste of my time. I love the teacher, but he was just not a good teacher. And that's okay, because this is an AP class, college course class, okay? I think it's good because it forces you to kind of do things on your own if your teacher is like unable to provide you with the help that you need. So yeah, and my next tip is for the day of the exam is to not stress. I know I definitely did this. Like, I was stressed right before the exam, but then right after I took it, I felt really good about myself. But then like a little bit later, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I didn't do as good as I thought. Maybe I was just pumping my head up too much. Don't let doubt get in your way. Like, definitely have confidence if you studied coming into the test. I mean, even if you didn't study, you know, confidence, it's always a good thing to have. I know that I studied. I put in a lot of work on to study. I read the review books, I watched the videos, I did the practice test, I wrote essays. I know that personally I prepared really well, so I don't know why I was stressing. If you know you studied, if you know your content, then do not worry about it, because most likely you will do good. Even if you don't do good, you'll most likely do better than the other students. And I'm pretty sure that like your score is based on how you did compared to the other students. So if you did better than them, then you'll be alright. I'm telling you right now, if you know you put in the work, you will reap the benefits or the rewards. So this marks the end of my video. I'm telling you guys, if you just follow all these tips, you'll definitely see the results. I didn't even realize I was doing all these things. Like, man, like, I didn't realize I was such a good student. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you got any valuable tips. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.